Each of these cars is controlled by an AI, which I trained for a single purpose: beating this legendary world record. However, it was much harder than I expected. You see, we're on AO6, one of the first maps in the game Trackmania, where millions of players have competed for the fastest time. But what makes this map truly special is right here. On this jump, some players discovered a special trick to save time. Yet, it's so difficult that hardly anyone has managed to do it. So this made me wonder, is there something an AI could teach us here? Could it push the limits of AO6 even further? It was time to find out. So the plan was simple. I would train the AI using a method called reinforcement learning. Basically, I was gonna let it drive the track many times and figure out on its own how to finish it as fast as possible. In each attempt, the AI makes real-time decisions based on what it sees. And to guide the AI towards the right goal, I give it rewards based on how fast it progresses on the map. Over time, the AI collects experience, learns from its mistakes, and slowly refines its driving strategy. After 1 hour, it made good progress. It can already complete most of the map, and from there, it just has to go straight to the finish. However, the AI is having more difficulty in this last section. Strangely, it's struggling to keep control of the car here. Things look a bit unpredictable. But that didn't discourage the AI, which eventually got its very first finish. At this point, the AI is still far behind the best humans, and at its current level, it can't really attempt anything too fancy yet. But as training progresses, it's quickly getting more comfortable on the map. Its lines are improving, it's taking more risks, and after 40 hours of driving, it's getting close to a new milestone, the world's top 300. That's already a level that most players never reach, even after years in the game. And yet, the AI is showing no signs of stopping. The grind has just started. The AI is now playing among the elite. But it looks like it's no longer making progress, even though it's still far from the very top. As you've probably guessed, the AI is missing something. Unlike literally everyone at this level, the AI completely avoids the sides of the ramps. That's a problem. Players have known for years that by clipping the side of some of these ramps, you can land and re-accelerate earlier to save a bit of time. But most importantly, on the second ramp, you can push this idea and skip the ramp entirely by doing a flip. This is the biggest time save on AO6, but it's also by far the hardest technique. Out of the many players who have attempted this map, only a handful have ever made the flip work. It may seem strange that the AI ignored these techniques, especially since it kinda stumbled upon them during training. But hitting the right spots on those ramps is much harder than it looks. Early on, the AI wasn't good enough to take advantage of that, so it probably figured it was safer to stay in the middle. From there, it just kept refining that line, without ever getting any hint that something better exists. And at this point, I'm pretty sure it's not going to change. I need to do something about that. So I added a wall behind each of the first 3 ramps to block the center. And now I'm gonna retrain the AI. This time, it has no other choice but to use the sides of the ramps. And after a few hours, it begins to adapt. Okay, that was a ramp cut. Like before, once the AI goes over the side, it struggles to keep control of the car, which I kinda understand. These jumps just seem unpredictable. But this time, there's no safer alternative, so the AI is forced to keep exploring in that direction. And by doing so, it's getting a few very interesting jumps. I mean, this kinda looks like a flip, right? That was just an exception though. It was becoming obvious that, once again, the AI was focusing on the safest approach. At least, with this ramp cut technique, the AI eventually managed to surpass its former version. And it was still improving, moving closer to the world's top 10. So I decided to let it train a bit longer on the normal map, just to see how far it could go. And in the end, this is the last improvement it got. Only 5 players left. The AI has never been this close to the top. But at this level, everyone ahead is using the flip. And without this technique, it's pretty clear the AI is hitting a dead end. If this wall isn't enough to force it to flip, I guess we'll have to add more. So I'm gonna restart the training with these new walls. I've done a few tests and normally the AI can only clear the jump with a flip now. But to really make sure it focuses on this technique, I'm also gonna guide it using a few reference runs. During training, the AI will regularly practice driving from one of these flip positions. This way, it should understand this technique more easily. Now, let's see what happens. Okay, that's good. As expected, the AI had to rotate its car here to reach the next road. And it's getting better. Its attempts look more and more like proper flips. Now, we just have to see what it can do with more training. After 50 hours, the AI has become quite consistent at the jump. And looking at its best attempts on the normal map, it seems to have mastered the flip now. At least that's what I thought at first, until I compared it with its opponents. For some reason, the AI's flips are always much slower. It's strange, the AI seems to be doing the same thing as humans here. Except that, during the jump, its car doesn't rotate as much. So when it reaches the road, it lands badly and loses speed. There must be something the AI isn't doing right here. But as training progressed, the AI seemed unable to come up with anything better. At this point, I was slowly starting to realize how difficult the flip really was. Until suddenly, out of nowhere, the AI finally got something promising. At last, the AI proved it has the potential to beat the record. This particular flip was an anomaly, much faster than anything the AI had done before. But about 2 hours later, it did it again. This time, it managed to beat the top 4, then the top 3, and 2. There was only one human left, Link, and the AI was still improving. Now that it had finally mastered the flip, it seemed inevitable that it would break the record soon. Yet, after 2,000 hours of training, the AI never managed to beat Link. Wait, what? How is that possible? I mean, after all this training, the AI should have reached inhuman precision as usual, and this time it mastered the flip. Or did it? Actually, among all its attempts, it only managed to get a couple of great flips. That's surprising for an AI. At this point, it's basically performing the same approach over and over with robotic precision, and still, it can't get a consistent result. Like, look at these 3 attempts. When approaching the ramp, they're literally indistinguishable, and from there, the AI uses the exact same actions every time. But for some reason, the outcome of the jump ends up completely different. On this ramp, precision doesn't seem to be enough. It looks like the AI is facing a bigger obstacle here. My guess is that this jump is pretty much random. Like I've already shown in previous videos, there are some areas in this game's physics that are unpredictable. And that seems to be particularly true for this ramp here. To get a truly great flip, I don't think the AI can rely on precision alone. It also needs luck. Yet, that still doesn't explain why the AI never got a single flip as fast as Link's. After all these hours, it can't be just bad luck. There must be something the AI is doing wrong. And after watching all these runs for quite some time, I think I found it. It's subtle, but here, Link takes a slightly different line to approach the ramp. So once again, it seems the AI picked a slower line. But I don't think this is even the worst part. I think the main issue is that the AI is no longer trying anything different. If this jump is unpredictable, then you can't know for sure what the best approach is. Instead, humans tend to try different lines, either because they are less precise or because they know they need to experiment. As a result, they often fail badly, but sometimes a miracle can happen. As Link himself told me, his flip wasn't all planned. He didn't use this specific line here on purpose. It was very much a freak accident. After this finding, I tried to force the AI to imitate Link. But oddly enough, it always found a way to come up with its own slower line. I'm still not sure why it can do better here. In short, I suspect the AI isn't aiming for the fastest approach, but rather for something that works reasonably well on average. For the long version, feel free to pause the video now, and if there are any experts in reinforcement learning watching, I'd love to hear what you think. Okay, so what's the solution now? To be honest, I don't really know what else to do. But come on, we're so close! Actually, there's one last thing I can try. Maybe the AI just hasn't played long enough yet. I'm gonna give it one last chance, one last weekend. During that time, it can attempt as many new runs as possible to try beating the record. But there's no further training. The AI has to stick with the weakest strategy it chose, and with that, hope there's still some room for a lucky run. In the end, this is the best the AI could come up with. Whoa, that was close. But the AI did it. It managed to break the world record on AO6. Honestly, I didn't imagine it would be this hard. But now that I'm done with AO6, we can finally move on to other maps. In fact, I'm currently training the AI on the rest of Trackmania's campaign, and I've already got some interesting results to show. As always though, it's going to take some patience. From research and programming to writing, visuals and editing, these videos take forever to make. Which is why I want to give a big thank you to everyone supporting this project on Patreon. This really helps keep the channel going. And if you'd like to support the project as well, you can do so with the link below. In return, you'll get regular updates on ongoing work, technical posts about how the AI works, and even extra content I couldn't fit in this video. Alright, time to move on. See you for the next step.